Hey, sixth graders. Today's lesson, we're going to be taking a look at 15-3, which goes directly with what we were working on yesterday. So yesterday we started looking at patterns and equations and really kind of how to take a look at what that rule is going to be and create an equation. Now, today's assignment, they're already going to have the equation for you. Okay, so you're not going to be figuring out the equation. Instead, what your job is going to be doing is filling out the chart and really using the equation and trying to find that pattern and plugging those different numbers in. So all of these equations are going to be two operations. Okay, so you might do a multiply then an add, whatever it may be. But you guys, all of them are going to have two different operations. So, very first thing that you're going to do, you're going to be taking your variable, whatever it may be, and you're going to substitute it into the equation. As soon as you substitute that in, then you can solve for what the other variable is going to be. One thing to keep in mind, keep in check is just remember our order of operations. Think about PEMDAS. So you need to make sure that you're doing your multiplication first, multiplication division first, and then you're adding and subtracting. Hopefully you can't hear that. Like my notifications are going crazy on my computer, but sorry. All right, so we're going to be taking a look at grids with the XY grid just like we were the other day. But this one, like I said, you guys, they're going to be giving you what the equation is. So I'm going to tell you that y equals 2x plus 1. Now on these ones, you guys, you're going to know at least one of the different ones here, which will help. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to give you x for all of these ones. Now, your job in this assignment is figuring out what y is going to be. So for these problems, we're going to be substituting those numbers in. So if we're taking a look at x being -1, we are going to be doing our 2 times -1, okay, because we need to be doing that order of operations first. So 2 times -1 is -2 plus our 1, which is going to give us -1. So here our answer is -1. Now we need to do the same thing with our next one. If it helps you to write this down below, great. If you can do it in your head, that works too. So let's take a look at this one. If we have 2 times 0, 2 times 0 is 0, plus our 1, our y is going to equal 1. Here, if x is 1, 2 times 1 plus 1 is going to equal 3. 2 times 2 plus 1 equals 5. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is going to equal 7. So notice that we did have those two operations, making sure we did our multiplication first, and then we did our addition to fill in the rest of our chart. Now, there's going to be some that are going to be dealing with some negative numbers. So I want to show you an example with some negative numbers. So we've done our integer stuff, so keep that in mind. You guys, I'm going to write this down below just because there's a little bit more room. T, it's supposed to be a T if you can't tell. Oftentimes you'll see it in cursive. That's a terrible cursive T. So it doesn't look like a plus sign. T equals -5D plus 5. Okay, so now we're throwing a negative number in there. So I'm going to tell you that we have D and we have T, -3, -2, -1, 0, and 1. These may or may not be directly from your worksheet. So here we're going to plug our numbers in. So here we have -5 times D, which we're going to plug in that -3. So -5 times -3 equals a positive 15. Negative times a negative equals positive. Positive 15 plus 5, our answer is going to equal 20. Our next one, -5 times -2 is a positive 10 plus our 5 equals 15. -1 times -5 is going to be a positive 5 plus our 5 equals 10. -5 times 0 is going to be 0 plus 5 is 5. That's a terrible 5 too. Man. -5 times 1, it'd be -5 plus 5 is going to be equaling 0. So keep in mind our rules when we're looking at our subtraction. If you need to look back at those, you definitely can. There's also going to be some answers that are going to be taking a look at some decimals. So I want to show you this one right here. We're going to say b equals a divided by 2 minus 2. A beautiful artist, right? All right, a and b. We're going to say this is 8, 5, 2, 0, and negative 2. Okay, let's start this off. So we're going to substitute our variable in. Okay, now notice we're in that a column. So we're going to say 8 divided by 2, which is 4, minus 2 is going to equal 2. Now let's take a look at this one. 5 divided by 2, that's going to be a decimal. Okay, we can either say it as 2.5 or 2.5, and then we're going to subtract our 2. For this one, you guys, you could put that 0.5, or you could have 1 over 2. Either way, but there are going to be some answers that are going to have either a fraction or decimal, so keep that in mind. Let's finish this one up. 2 divided by 2 is 1 minus 2. We have a negative 1. 0 divided by 2 is going to be 0 minus 2, negative 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 is a negative 1 minus 2 is going to equal negative 3. On all of these problems, there's going to be 2 different steps. So keep in mind, multiplication and division we need to do first, and then our adding or subtracting. All you're going to be doing is you're going to be substituting in that variable. So if they tell you that that a equals 8, we're going to be plugging that one in. Now, I want you guys even to take a look at my sheet right here. There's definitely some that I did my work underneath. If that helps you to solve those, great. If you can fit do in your head, that works perfectly fine too. Okay, so your worksheet, there's a total of 10 boxes like this with different equations. So you're going to be just filling in those answers for the equation. This will come in handy for next week. Next week, we'll be taking a look at how to graph these and how they would actually look on a graph. So worksheet will be on Google Classrooms, and then submit it when you're finished. All right, bye.